Okay, so now we'll start with image enhancement techniques in spatial domain. So what is the meaning of spatial? I already explained you before. Spatial is with respect to space. So in DSP you must have studied time domain and frequency domain. In image processing we are going to study spatial domain and frequency domain. Okay. So to process an image so that the result is more suitable than the original image, okay, we apply some enhancement techniques. Okay. So in spatial domain we are going to deal with the points x and y and the gray level value. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, the term spatial domain refers to the image plane itself, just like a coordinate system. So based on direct manipulation of the pixel, we are going to apply some enhancement techniques in this. Okay, so in frequency domain processing, techniques are based on modifying the Fourier transform of an image. So that we'll see later on after completing the spatial domain enhancement techniques. So as we discussed in the first lecture that the viewer, the subject or the user is the ultimate judge who is going to decide the quality of the image. Okay, so visual evaluation of the image quality is highly subjective process. So spatial domain refers to the aggregate of pixels composing an image. So in two-dimensional image there are pixels and each pixel can be represented using x and y coordinate, and the value at that xy is called as intensity or gray level value. Okay, so spatial domain methods are procedures that directly operates on these pixels. So in this, now you know f of xy is what? What is f of xy? It's the original image, and we are going to apply some transformation function on this xy so that we will get a new image, or we can say it's a enhanced image, enhanced version of the original image. Okay, so f of xy is input image, g of xy is a processed image, and t is an operator or a transformation function defined over some neighborhood of xy. So suppose this is your image, okay, this is your image, this entire is your image. In that image we are considering one pixel, okay, f of xy, and this is the neighborhood of f of xy. Okay, so how many neighbors are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So each pixel has 8 neighbors. The center of the sub-image is moved from pixel to pixel. So this is called as a convolution operation, which you must have studied in DSP. Okay, so in DSP you had applied one dimensional function, 1D function on another 1D function. Okay, here we are going to apply two-dimensional function on a image because image is a two-dimensional. Okay, it's an image matrix. So the operator T is applied at each location xy to yield the output at the location. So we will see this in detail when we solve the problems. Okay, when the neighborhood is one by one, means what? We are not considering neighborhood at all. We are just considering a particular pixel. Okay, so basically in spatial domain there are two types of operations: point or pixel operation and neighborhood operation. So whenever I say point or pixel operation, we are not going to consider the neighbors, and whenever I say neighborhood operation, then we are going to consider all the 8 neighbors of a particular pixel. Okay, so initially we will start with point operations. So when the neighborhood is 1 by 1, that is a single pixel, then G depends only on the value of f at xy. So what I want to say is, if this is your image having this particular pixel xy, this is f. Okay, so we are going to have a new image with same size as f. We are going to apply some transformation function on this so that we'll get a new value at that particular location. So this is generally the input gray level value is always represented by R and the output gray level value is represented by S. So this you have to remember, S is equal to T of R. We are going to apply some transformation function on the input gray level value so that we will get a corresponding output gray level. Okay, so the example for this is contrast stretching, thresholding, negation, many are there that we will see now one by one. So here you can see it's a transformation function, R versus S. So what is R? Input gray level versus output gray level. Okay. So if you read the graph here, okay, what we said, if the image is of 8-bit image, so how many gray level values? 0 to 255, right? That we have seen. So what is 0? 0 is black and 255 is white. So if I plot the input gray level value of 8-bit image, this will be 0 to 255, right? So output will be also same, 0 to 255. This should be 255, L minus 1, right? Okay. So what will happen if the transformation function is like this? Till m, what is happening? Till m, so whatever values are there, input values, till m, the output is how much? Output is 0, right? Till m, the output is 0. After m means if r is greater than or equal to m, the output is L minus 1. Okay, so uh, till m you will get output equal to 0. After m the output is L minus 1. So there are only two levels, either black or white. So this is called as a thresholding. Okay, thresholding is generally applied to convert the image into binary image. So what is binary image? Binary image two levels, either 0 or 1, or you can say black and white image. Okay, so this is a point operation. We are not going to deal with the neighborhood operation. We are going to take one particular pixel, apply a transformation function, and then we'll get the output image. Now here it's a contrast stitching. Now I explain you what is contrast. What is contrast? You should be able to differentiate between the foreground and background properly. That's what I told you. So suppose if I change the slope of this curve, what will happen? Slope of this curve. Now you can see here, if this is the range of input gray level values, and corresponding output value is how much? So can I say that for less input range, I am going to assign maximum output range. Okay, so this is 0 to L minus 1, right? And suppose this is 50 and this is 200, suppose. Okay, so 50 to 200 input range means how many gray levels? 150, right? So 150 gray levels we are going to map with 255 output gray level values. So naturally the dynamic range will increase and the contrast will increase. So this is known as contrast stitching. So there are two types of contrast stitching techniques. One is known as linear contrast stitch and another is called as piecewise contrast stitching. So linear contrast stitch means there will be a continuous slope change, and here this is a piecewise contrast stitching. So we are going to have different slopes at different points. So there will be different transformation function for this segment and this segment. Okay, in linear contrast stitching you can have a constant slope like this. Okay, so what will happen in linear contrast stitch? This is S again versus R. So if the transformation function is like this, what will happen to the output image? See here, the bright pixel is mapped to the darker level, right? Here. So the image becomes dark here. Here what will happen? The dark pixel is mapped to a bright pixel here. Okay. So the image becomes bright. What about this? If the slope equal to 1, slope equal to 1 means S is equal to S will be equal to R. So you will get an identity transformation, that is in output image will be equal to input image. So this is called as a linear contrast stitch, and this is a piecewise. This is a piecewise. Why? Piecewise. Why? Because the slope for each segment is different. Okay, then you have to calculate the transformation function for each segment and then apply. So these are the examples. Before applying contrast stitching, this was the input image and After applying, you got this. So see, the quality has been increased. So what is point processing? I told you, you are going to apply, you are going to pick up one pixel value, apply transformation function on it, and then store it into a new image. Okay.